If you watched the previous videos, by now you hopefully have some understanding of private and added files, why Plastic uses them, and why Plastic has a special configuration for Unity, which is tailored to the typical Unity workflow. This, however, is just the beginning of the story. It doesn't really matter in what project you are for this video, but I'm back in the project with our 3 spheres. Maybe you accidentally or purposely opened the root directory of your Unity project and had the following question. Okay, we saw a few files that were initially added to the repository, like the project settings or the packages. But then there are all sorts of files in here which we never saw appear anywhere. For example, this library folder and its contents. Okay, if you have some experience with software development, you probably know where this is going. If we look at the size of the library folder and its contents, we can see that it is huge compared to all the other stuff that is in our project. And the library folder is not included in our repository, nor are the files listed as private. How does that work? The answer is pretty simple. We don't need the library folder in our repository, and Plastic, like many other version control systems, has a place where you can tell it what you don't need. And in Plastic, that is a single file called ignore.conf. If we open it up, we can see a long list of strings, some of which look like file endings, some look like paths, and others have weird characters in them. I will not pretend that most of you haven't at some point seen something similar in Git, so I will not go too deep on that, but for those of you that haven't, this is simply a list of rules that tells Plastic what not to include in the repository. It can be as simple as just naming a specific folder, or it can be as complex as specifying paths with wildcards and regular expressions, which will affect very specific files. Speaking of naming a specific folder, the very first entry should be familiar to us. It is the library folder we were just talking about. What is going to happen if we comment this line out? Back in Unity, we can see several thousand files are now listed out as private in the pending changes, and we would have to deal with them. But on the other hand, why can we just leave them out? Or in other words, how do we know which files to ignore? The big picture is the following. And this is simplifying things a lot. There are 2 types of files. Files that are a recipe or instructions on how to recreate your project. And then there are the actual files that your computer needs to run your project. When you develop a game in Unity, there are a lot of files that are temporary or that can be easily regenerated. This is just the nature of a software like Unity and many others. We don't want to include those files into our repository. Our repository should contain the minimal amount of information which is necessary to recreate the project. In most cases, it needs to have some amount of assets, our source code, instructions on which packages we will need, and probably some settings. What it doesn't need are the library files, in other words, the package contents, files that are regenerated or temporary, IDE-specific files, local configs, build files, and so on. In other words, everything that can be recreated easily or is just regarding your specific machine or environment or user should not be part of the repository. Let me clarify this with the example of build files. If I don't have an error in my project, at any point in time I can build my project and then test it. The result of that build will always be the same given the same state of the repository. So when I want someone else to test my build, there is no need at all to include the build in the repository. The other dev can just download my repository and build the project. Given the same repository and the same Unity version, his build will be the same as mine. A similar logic applies to the library folder. We don't want all those thousands of files in our repository when we can just as well have one file, which is just listing the packages, and then let Unity's package manager figure out how to get the correct packages. The file which we need is the manifest file in the packages folder, which lists all the packages. And this was already included by the default first Unity check-in. What we don't need is the library folder. All the entries in the ignore.conf file we saw so far were there by default and were specifically added with a normal Unity project in mind. So all the hard work is already done for us. But what if we want additional files to be ignored? Well, we just add them in here. For example, I can see this vsconfig file listed in the pending changes. If you're not using Visual Studio, you probably don't have this file. Since this is specific to my IDE, I can add it to the ignored list. What if I add some file that is just relevant for me and my specific setup? Maybe during development, I want a special debug color for certain objects to know that they are just placeholders. When I add that to the list, well, nothing happens. Why is that? If you remember, we said that files we add to the assets folder automatically get the added status. And the added status means that we want them to go into the next change set. So ignoring them now would be a contradiction and not really make sense. Let's quickly comment this out. We have to bring the file back to the private state. And when we now add the line back, the file is ignored properly. There is, however, still a meta file left. Unity creates meta files for any file you create in the assets folder. If you want to know more about them, there will be a short video later. If you just care about ignoring them, you have to specify it just as we did with the main file. We could have also done this through the editor or through Plastic. Let's add a second material. Revert to private. And then choose Add to Ignore List. This does exactly the same thing we did with the first material, which is add two entries to the list. For simple cases like ignoring one specific file or folder, you can use this option through the editor. If you need more complicated rules, like ignoring just certain files in a folder, you will need to take a look into the documentation and get somewhat familiar with wildcards and regular expressions. It's not really difficult, you can find a lot of examples in the docs, but it would be a bit too specific for this course. Okay, let's take a quick look at the big picture we painted so far. Whatever files you add to your workspace, start with the status private. To Plastic, this status means, hey, I'm a local file which was just added. What do you want to do with me? Now it's up to you, the developer, to decide whether this is a file that should go into the repository or, for the reasons we talked about earlier, should be ignored. You can probably handle most situations with the simple binary decisions for your files, but there are special cases where you can achieve more complex behavior, like for example, ignoring files that were already added to the repository or preventing very large files to be updated each time you update your repository. Those can be handled by two additional lists, which are called hidden and cloaked. Again, it would lead us too far aside to delve into those special cases, but just note that this makes the ignore system more versatile as opposed to Git, for example. And it is again particularly useful for the specifics of game development. Okay, we still have barely started our journey on Unity version control, so we will now temporarily close the chapter of file statuses and shift our attention to file changes and how we can inspect them. See you in the next video.